I went from dry fast to water fast to potato diet. All the stories, all the news coming up after this. Okay, I think a big part of why I haven't been vlogging is that I didn't want to hear "I told you so's," because I did have some problems with my fasting. So I did a dry fast for 3 whole days. Maybe it was a bit more even. And in the end, I did give myself infected bladder and kidneys. My bladder was in a lot of pain, and I flushed it with water. I did actually, the internet, I did go to the doctor's office, and I mean, I probably would have even taken antibiotics when I went, but I think I misspoke. I don't think I told them all the information. Like, I was focusing on the fact that my legs were going numb, and I don't think they understood that I was still feeling kidney and bladder pain. So they just did a test and said, come back in a week. And I'm like, okay, this is why I don't go to the doctor, because anyway, I just continued to flush, and I do feel better. What hasn't returned? I didn't go to the bathroom in, I don't know how long it's been. I think it's 3 weeks. I have recently. I kept eating prunes until there was a horrible explosion, but I'm not back to, that was just a couple days ago. So I'm not back to regular bowel movements. I don't know when that's going to be. I'm not going, but I'm not worried about, I was eating a lot of food too. So, okay, that brings me to the potato diet. Okay, I better finish up where I'm going here. So I did the fast. I wrote notes also for this, and that's not me. I read over the notes that I took, the documented things that happened to me. I probably should do things more in the moment so I could say all of these symptoms and things that were happening. One that I remember is crazy dreams. That's probably the best part about the fast, was the dreaming. Was like really vivid, eclectic, ornate dreams, but they were basic at the same time. They weren't crazy things, weren't happening. They were just normal things. They were just, I don't even remember what any of them were. The dreams were fantastic. I do feel renewed. A big part of why I did this was to get rid of cravings. It didn't really work. I think I cured well, maybe I didn't. I have Candida symptoms all the time, since as far back as I can remember. Candida symptoms are like always on my fingernail. The corners of my fingernails are always sore. So there's always this tiny little infection at the corner of my fingernails. I looked that up one day on Google, and it said that it was a Candida thing. At least I hope so. I hope I'm not remembering things wrong. And then also, and that's fingernails and toenails, they're all always a little bit sore, and that went away while I was dry fasting. I think it's back though, that's the thing. And I think that's what the bladder infection was too, because it's always, I have, if I don't wash my wiener, look, I think that's probably the best thing to call it on here, it gets red and inflamed very easily. So I always have to keep it clean, and I don't think that's normal, because I don't know, I don't think that's normal, because that means that all of these homeless people would be going around with pussy, hurtful penises. So, oh, I just said penis. So yeah, I don't think that's a normal thing, but I've learned that as long as I keep myself clean, then there's no issues. I also looked that up, and that is apparently something that happens to some people, and it's Candida symptom. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to do the fast. I'm not sure. I've been keeping clean, so I'm not in. I can't. I think my fingernails are a little bit sore on the corners, but I remember pressing on them while I was fasting, and it didn't hurt at all. And I think now it does. I thought I would get rid of scars and things. People did tell you if you don't eat for 3 days, like it says on the internet, if you don't eat for 3 days, you die. Which I don't think that's true. Well, I know that's not true because I did not die. But I could have had kidney failure. I did have kidney failure. My kidneys were not working and they hurt. And I was drinking water and water and water, and nothing was coming out. There was a time I was eating and drinking and eating, and it wasn't happening. I was drinking 500 milliliters every time we would go to, well, I guess I would go to, I would go to the washroom, but the amount that I would pee was not anywhere close to the amount that I was drinking. And yeah, so I don't know, at least 3 liters of water a day. That doesn't sound like much, but I also wasn't doing any activity, so it wasn't like, and it's not warm here, I wasn't sweating or anything. So dry fast, 3 days. Did it reset? It didn't really cure my cravings. Maybe to some degree it did, I guess. I mean, if I walk by cakes, cookies, donuts, ice cream, I do think about it, but I'm not stopping to buy it or anything. I don't need it or anything. So, and then while I was looking at food, so lots and lots of food. Maybe I ate too much food when I was reintroducing food. Maybe that was my constipation, if you can call it. I don't call it constipation, because when I was pooing a little bit, I'm trying to use words that work. It was not hard. It was nice and hydrated. Not super hydrated, but recently it's been super hydrated because that's what prunes do. And prunes were the first sweet, oh no, that's not true. I was eating apples. But I noticed that when I finished the dry fast, so I don't know how long after I did the dry fast, how long did I do the water fast afterwards? I don't even remember, but I did do it for a long time afterwards. So I think it was a week. So altogether, so I think I did an additional 4 days of water fasting, and I wanted to do that because my bladder was hurting, so I was just flushing and flushing and flushing, and I wasn't hungry by then. Then after I did it, I was Googling what I was going to eat, and I'm in a bad financial place right now. I was watching all these documentaries on not eating meat, and I'm kind of a keto person, but I also know that green vegetables are the only thing I can eat, and that's what I was finding out. So I was looking up, and I wanted to be a raw foodist. I wanted to eat raw food, and I didn't. And then I was finding out that even apple sugar was bad. Now I had some apples that I had bought that were going to go bad, so I wanted to eat them. But I have cans of meat that I think I'm going to donate, because I do forget why. So I'm going to go rewatch these plant documentaries. But the truth is, there are toxins in all of the meat, no matter if it's organic or not, and especially with fish. Fish is always kind of gross for me to eat. And, fishy smell, like fish is very... sashimi, that's funny, is not... I don't find a sushi or sashimi very fishy. Maybe because it is so fresh frozen, usually. But normally, and a little guide that I have, I'm all over the place with this, you're just going to have to deal with it. This is how I talk. If I think about I think a good way to judge what you should eat is how would you feel about it being in a blender. And if I think about taking a squirrel, throwing the whole thing in a blender, that's disgusting. I don't want to eat that. If I think about grabbing a whole fish, throwing it in a blender, that's disgusting. Throwing an apple in a blender, no problem. Mango in the blender, doesn't matter. Even with the pit, like if the pit is ground up, that sounds great. I eat all my skins. You should probably eat all your skins too, no matter what it is. I eat all my skins. I wash my produce. I wash everything. A lot of people don't wash their stuff. I wash everything and I eat all the skins, and I do that for my potatoes. So anyway, I was doing this research, watching all these documentaries. It really did. It proved to me all of the arguments, and I've watched many documentaries on why animal fat is good and the benefits and everything, and I do see it there. And it is really, if you cut everything down, it's all about not eating processed foods. So that is why the keto people are doing well, because they're eating non-processed foods. They're eating just meat and just plant life. You know, and I wanted to mention that bugs in the blender, I don't think that would bother me. Not so much. Maybe a blender full of just spiders, that wouldn't be very good. I wouldn't want to eat that. But an apple that might have like a little beetle in there as well, not a problem. So the blender thing works for me. I don't want to eat a whole animal in a blender. A whole fruit or vegetable, yes. Why did I come back to that? I weighted all of the information that I learned from all the documentaries, all of the things I read, and I've been researching this stuff since the 90s. I've been into health food, and I've worked in the health food industry as well. So I have been exposed to a lot of stuff. So I've come to the conclusion that I am definitely... Oh, and that brings me to potatoes, because I didn't know what I was going to eat. I didn't want to eat cooked food, but if I was going to cook anything, I don't, grains, kind of want to stay with rice, and beans have bad raps, and for our digestive system and everything, even beans do. So that's why I kind of wanted to stick with things that you could eat raw. I know that you can eat potatoes raw, but I also needed to do this economically. So this is why the potato diet has really interested me. There's not the sugars, there's just the potatoes, the starches. I don't know. That's also, some people are talk bad about the starches, but I'm trying it. And it's working, and it's satisfying, and all I can think about is the next time I'm having potatoes. So that's my story. My hair, do we want to talk? Every time I think that it's time to get rid of the hair, it's over. I did order a new electric razor. Mine is so loud that my hair clippers, which I used to be able to shave with, and maybe I'm going to let my beard grow just a slight bit. I think I like how that looks, so if I just shave with that. But the clippers that I had were so noisy. These ones were really inexpensive, and they had great reviews, and yeah, they were cheaper than most of them, and it's wireless. I've never had wireless clippers before, so I'm super excited, but I might end up shaving my head. I love how my hair looks, right? I think I do. I don't know. This is me sleeping on my hair too, with my wax concoction in it. I didn't shower last night, which is very rare for me, but I was just really tired. I might shave I might not complete, I'm not gonna shave it really short. I would just the longest buzz possible, probably. I've been finding my hair everywhere. It makes cleaning hard. It makes just having to worry about it. And to have something that's neat and tidy and perfect all the time, I think that's probably more my style than having to worry about anything. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot has to do with the amount of hair that I'm finding on the floor. The longer my hair gets, the more it falls out. It's funny, it doesn't fall out when it's short. And I think that's because you don't touch it as much. It doesn't pull off with your hat, or you're not having to pull it and push it and style it and move it around and stuff. I'm afraid to touch it because my hair shakes or makes or breaks me. White t-shirts are definitely my style too. That's something that I'll have to. Anyway, I've talked way too much. This was to get back. I have so many videos I can do. There's minimalizing videos. There's controversial topics that I want to talk about. There's so much things that I want to talk about. And I don't think you mind, even if I'm trying to be quiet and I whisper, that I don't think people mind it. I think people like my whispering voice. I probably should use my microphone. I have it. It's just that sometimes I go to use this mic. What are you doing? I guess I haven't talked to anyone in a long time. When I go to use this microphone, I forget sometimes to put the settings on, so I plug it in, and it's still recording from the camera itself. So, I love you. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see.